my channel. I'm Liv, and today is a super exciting video for me, at least, because I love talking about hair, being a cosmetologist. And I got a comment on one of my more recent videos asking to show you guys how I color my hair. So we're gonna talk about that today. I'm gonna go in depth on the products that I use, the technique, all that sort of stuff. But I do want to tell you guys that I do not color my own hair. My coworker Kirsten does it for me. I highly suggest having someone else do it for you, like a professional. I do not recommend ever doing your hair at home by yourself. I had so many people come into the salon after quarantine that tried doing their hair themselves, and there were some major chemical disasters that happened. So I always recommend getting your hair done by a professional, please, especially if you're using Lightener. If you're using Lightener on your hair, always have a professional do it, or if you're gonna do it at home, have someone help you, because Lightener can break off your hair and cause some serious damage. So just putting that out there. I'm not promoting doing your hair at home if you're not a professional, but take this video as you will. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to import some clips throughout this video of me getting my hair done. We didn't do it at the salon this past time. We were getting ready to leave to go to Daytona, and so we just did it at Kirsten's house. So the quality is not the best, but it's what I got for you guys because I wanted to just do this video and get it out there right away. That's why I thought that I would sit down and really explain what I'm doing and then just put clips in the video so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. The lightener that I use at the salon on my clients and that I have used on myself is the Schwarzkopf lightener. This is the developer. I have it here. I use 20 volume on my hair. Never ever go above 20 volume ever. Don't use 30 volume. Definitely don't use 40 volume because it will cause blisters, it will break off your hair, it will be super damaging. So this is the developer here, and I use the lightener powder that goes along with this. It's the Blonde Me Schwarzkopf powder. There is one in kind of like a shorter tub that is a clay lightener. That's really good for balayages or lightening hair that is already really light and you just want to bump it up a level or two. But I use the actual lightener in the bigger tub that's used for highlights and all that sort of stuff to really lighten the hair several levels. Kirsten starts off by sectioning off my hair. My red is my natural hair color, so just the blonde is fake. So she sections off my hair really, really precisely on where she's lightened it before. And it's not all the way in the back, it's just these front portions of my hair. So she sections that off, makes it really, really clean and precise so you're not lightening over new red hair, and just making sure that the lines are really, really clean. So using a rat tail comb is really important for that because you can just really slice through the hair and pick out any of the red parts, things like that. And then she clips all of my red hair off or puts it in a bun. Make sure that it's really, really tight when it's separated so that when you're lightening, it doesn't, you know, bleed onto the red parts. Some really important things to note while you're mixing up your lightener is when you're doing an on-scalp application, you want to make the lightener consistency a bit thicker than you normally would so that it doesn't spread or bleed onto other parts of the hair. You also want to make sure that in instances where you are just touching up your roots like Kirsten is doing in this video, I highly suggest putting a conditioner on any of the blonde parts that are already lightened, because then if the lightener does happen to bleed on the already blonde parts, it won't cause any damage. If not, make sure that the lightener does not bleed onto already lightened hair. That will cause so much damage to your hair and will break it off. So make sure that you are really, really careful about doing that if you're getting your hair done. What Kirsten does first is she normally goes around my hairline first, goes just around all the edges, and then she'll take really, really small sections and lighten that. You want to take really small sections to make sure that everything is saturated fully and completely. You're not missing anything, and that way everything lifts evenly all at the same time. If you take too big of sections, the lightener won't spread evenly. You could get some like splotchiness. It'll take longer to lift, all that sort of stuff. So make sure you're really paying attention and taking your time. Once she's gone through my entire head and touched up all of my roots with the lightener, she normally places foils over my head because that will trap in the heat, which will allow it to lighten faster. Since my hair is very warm, I have naturally red hair, it takes a long time to lift because it has to lift all the warmth out of it. What a lot of people that don't do hair don't realize is that your hair always lifts warm. So if you have black hair, there's several levels of warmth that you have to get through in order to get to blonde. Black hair would be a level 1 on the color chart, 1 being the darkest, and then a platinum blonde would be a level 10, the lightest. So there's all those 2 through 9 levels that you have to get through of warmth. So your hair never lifts to a pretty cool toned color. That's what toners are for, and I'll get more into toners later on in this video, but your hair never lifts cool toned. It will always lift warm. Those are just the pigments that are in your hair. So once Kirsten has applied the liner, put the foils over my head, then she normally lets me sit for about 30 to 40 minutes with that on, and then I go ahead and rinse that out and shampoo it before she applies the next layer. So this isn't the case for everyone, but because my hair is so warm, what Kirsten does on me is after that 30 or 40 minutes, normally that's about as much as the hair will lift within that amount of time. So, you know, once you wait, the 40 minutes is normally the max amount of time. You don't want to wait any longer. You don't want to leave the bleach on there any longer because then it could cause damage. So you want to rinse that out. So I go ahead and rinse that out. I shampoo it really well and then towel dry it. And then Kirsten will apply lightener on it again for another like 15 minutes while my hair is damp, while it's towel dried. Basically, why it's helpful to do that when the hair is damp is because when it's damp, your hair will only lift another little bit. So within that 15 minutes, it may lift, you know, half a level, 1 more level, something like that, just enough to boost a little bit more of that warmth out of there without causing as much damage. That's just what we needed for my hair since my hair is naturally really warm. If you're gonna get to a level 10, like the lightest blonde, basically what the hair would look like would be like the inside of a banana peel. So it would be a very, very pale light yellow, whereas if you're a level 9, you're gonna have much more of that yellow pigment in your hair. It's gonna be more of a pure yellow. So once that sits on for another like 15 minutes, I go ahead and rinse that out, shampoo again, and then I will tone it. Toning is very fun. I use Redken shades on all of my toners. This is the processing solution. This is what it looks like. And this is what the toner looks like. So it's gonna be these little bottles. So you wanna tone at whatever level you're gonna be at. So if my hair is a level 10, I'm gonna tone with a toner that is a level 10, that says 10 on it. So I normally tone my blonde with a 9V and a 10GI because since my hair is really warm, a 9V is going to be violet, so it's going to help cancel out any of those warm tones because on the color wheel, geez Louise, hair is so much chemistry. I sound like a nerd. Hair is all science. So when it comes to toning, whatever tone the hair lifts to, you're going to want to neutralize that with something opposite of that tone on the color wheel. Now let's say you start at a level 1, so black hair, and you want to lift it to, you know, a level 4, let's say. You're going to have really red tones in there. So you're gonna wanna tone with a level 4 that has green in it to neutralize that red because green neutralizes red on the color wheel. So that will help eliminate those red tones and neutralize it to make a neutral natural brown. That being said, if you have blonde hair and it lifts to a bright yellow tone or a pale yellow tone, you're gonna wanna use a level 9 or 10 toner to help eliminate those yellow tones and neutralize it. Once it's neutralized, you can allow it to process a little bit more to make it more ashy as you'd like. So normally what we tone my hair with is 9V and 10GI mixed together. The 9V helps eliminate those yellow tones, and the 10GI mixed in there will combat the 9V so the 9V doesn't turn the blonde too violet or too silver, since 10GI is a little bit warmer. It's got a tiny bit of like gold tones in it. And normally toners, in order to get max color out of them, you let them sit on for like 15 minutes. With mine, because it's really lightened, bleached hair, your cuticle is open, the color can take really easily, especially right around your face. So I normally let the toner sit on for like 10 minutes max, and then I rinse it out. Toners are way scarier on the hair than they look when they come off the hair. When using 9V in particular, when your hair starts to look purple, when you rinse it out, I promise it will not be purple. Toning can be really, really scary. It can be very intimidating because you'll see the colors changing in the bowl and you'll be like, holy shit, this person's hair is purple. And you'll want to rinse it out. It's not going to be purple. It'll be beautiful, ashy gorgeousness. So that was something that I really had to learn, and I'm still learning. If you start to get scared, let it sit on for like another 5 minutes. That's just what I learned. Making sure that you really rinse and shampoo all the bleach out of the hair before you tone it, and make sure that you towel dry it really, really well. That will just help the toner apply really evenly and get the actual color that you want. If you leave bleach on your hair at all when you're toning, it will change the pigment of the toner and it will be different than what you're expecting. Last thing, when it comes to bleaching your hair, make sure that you are taking care of your hair afterwards. Make sure you are using conditioning treatments at home. Anyone that gets highlights, balayages, anything like that, I always offer them a conditioning treatment at the salon because lightening the hair severely dehydrates it. It makes it really dry, really brittle, really fragile. So making sure that you're really conditioning the hair, keeping it healthy, keeping it strong, so that you can continue to lighten it in the future is so, so important. If you guys have any other questions, leave comments down below. I'll answer them for you. Again, I don't recommend that you do your hair at home if you're not a professional. Even if you are a professional and you're doing it at home, get someone to help you. I think that's it for this video today. Thank you guys for watching so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!